Hello, this is Bonsai here, or known as XL, and this is my honest opinion about this game. It is one of the best games I have ever played. And what I mean the best, this game feels nostalgic as heck. The beauty of this game just literally distracts me. Every single objective I see distracts me, and I still haven't finished the campaign. And it's so good. And how good? Like, look at the art of this game. The beauty of all that is just, man, it's so goddamn extravagant. Like, every single time I just go to, like, an objective or this thing or that thing, it feels different. It doesn't feel repetitive. It doesn't feel like the same thing over and over and over again. It feels different. And this whole story right here is just like basically explaining like there's this freaking baddie out there that literally whoops ass, and I'm just like, holy shit, I don't want to run to this guy. He looks dangerous as hell, you know. But like I would basically run into this guy later on in the story, which is pretty damn freaking badass. And throughout the game, it's just like you find like armors in certain locations, or like you find like swords and this and that, or things that are hidden in certain places, and everything is different. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, it's gonna be at the same tree at the same spot, it's gonna be a tree, 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 tree. No, it's nothing like that. And I swear to God, this open world game just feels like it's one of the best open world games I have ever played. It feels better than goddamn freaking like Witcher 3. It feels better than Red Dead Redemption. It feels better than freaking like Far Cry 4, Days Gone, like all the old, like all the open world games. This one does it better. And like sometimes I just literally go through the woods, and it gives like an ominous feeling. Like, it really gives like a crazy feeling, like, oh, it's so dark in the woods, it's all foggy, it gives it a very mysterious vibe, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to find out what the heck is going on here, and it's like evil spirits and blah blah blah, all that really crazy mystic stuff, like mystic missions are really cool in this game. And man, oh man, I was kind of disappointed when the critics were, they gave it like 3 out of 5, or like, some really bad scores, like, like 8 out of 10. And I'm just like, what the heck, like, this game is so goddamn lit, you know. And these critics, man, I swear to God, they haven't reached to the very end game, like they they would literally fill it for the very first, you know, freaking hours or so, and you know, they still haven't leveled up their character, and leveling up your character in this game is just a mouthful. And God, like, you unlock techniques. The fighting style in this game is uncomparable in any game that I even know out there. And the way that you fight is like you switch in different techniques, like in combat. You don't have to go to a like a location in certain games where like, oh, you only get one gun and you only use one gun and that's it. This one is like, you got 4 techniques. You can use all 4 techniques, and God, like, the weather system, the foliage, the trees, the designs, the man, oh man, it's just so goddamn amazing. And man, oh man, I'm just frustrated in these critics, because these critics man, they don't know how hard like a lot of people just put into certain games, you know? Not like the goddamn Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 was just so beautiful, but it just the story was just like it was so bad. And I didn't like it. And I swear to God, you know, like look at the blood effects. And I still haven't even played like the full color version, and I believe the full color version is so goddamn beautiful. I just wanted to do the Kurosawa mode because why not? Kurosawa mode is just so goddamn cool. And at that specific moment, I literally threw like a smoke bomb, just mad surprised them all. And god damn, it is insane. Throughout this whole game, I'm just looking for the goddamn smoke bombs because I'm in love with the smoke bombs in this game. And you know, I feel like things that are missing in this game, or I haven't ran into, but I just feel like it's missing, is that your character can use a spear. It'd be cool to use a spear, you know, like a naginata. It'd be really badass. And the dodging in this game just feels so realistic. It doesn't feel like bad. Another thing that I feel like is missing is like an inn, like a sake inn where you literally sleep and you can have sake and you can eat rice and you rest in there, you know, or another thing would be like a geisha, like you have a choice to kill this geisha or you make this geisha fall in love with you, or you know, like other things, you know, I want like that stuff, but you know, this game is just perfect the way it is. You know, if they add DLC, I'm happy with it. I would literally jump into that DLC and play with it. And, you know, I would literally serve my soul for this game. You know, I would protect my life for this game because this game is just beautiful. It's just amazing. The developers, they did such an amazing job in doing designs, you know, and the clothing and everything, you know, the designs of making materials like houses and the grass, how the clothing flow, the wind blows, everything about this game is just amazing, you know. Like a lot of locations in this game is real, you know. Like I literally searched up some of the locations and the locations are real. Majority of the locations aren't real because they're basically abandoned over, you know, realistic times in modern day, which is right now. But some of the locations in this game are real. Like there's this bamboo village where it's just like a whole freaking tree just stacked with bamboo, and it's a real location in Google Maps, you know. And the history in this game is just, it just show truly how crazy how the past was. And for those who passed away in this game, just literally didn't die in vain, because it just shows that this game just gives like full emotion and full heart of like the culture and how the whole like game is, the vibe. I just love the vibe of the Akira Kurosawa mode, because man oh man, that that that's really cool. You know, the game just, it's amazing. Like man, it just gives me vibes like movies like Satoichi or Rashomon or 13 Assassins, 7 Samurai. Like, yo, man, I really wish I could use a spear because, you know, I just want to go pokey pokey. I want to just like stab people. But nah. And the cool thing about this game is the creation. The creation of this character is so good. Dye any colors. Every location just mind boggles you. It's just like, oh man, I want to know what's gonna go like happen. And you go to this location, you find a sword just laying there, and you're just like, what the hell? A free sword? What sort of sword is it? And you just literally take the sword, and the spirits are just like, yeah, brother, yeah. You like that sword, right? I'm just like, yes, thank you. Thank you for the sword. And, the combat. I've never had this sort of combat system ever. The way the character moves, like the movement of the character is just like as a real samurai, how they would literally walk, you know? And I swear to God, there's also the ninja side, and the ninja side is just pretty damn freaking cool. One of my friends told me like the ninja side is just so goddamn freaking cool. Like you can literally hide in the buildings. You can go over the goddamn freaking house. You just assassinate, dude. You can do all sorts of things. And another amazing thing in this game, is the climbing. I look at that, I was like, I want to go there. And I'm able to go there. Like I can climb. There's no invisible walls. There's no nothing that's stopping me in getting to that specific location. Like, look how realistic, Like, the rocks were falling off of that little rock, like the large rock right there, like a little avalanche. And, God, man, I really want to get to the campaign, but I'm just so, like, stuck. Like, I'm stuck just looking at everything in the game. It's that goddamn amazing. I've played all sorts of games out there, but this game just feels good. It feels good when you're walking like on water. Like look at this part right here. There's this shrine lady and she wants to do everything that she can protect me. Like she's just she's just there. You know what I mean? And it's cool because my samurai dude, it really depends on what sort of path you take. Like there's a ninja path and there's a samurai path. And like the samurai would be like always loyal and he would just always sit down and listen to their whole conversation and just it puts the whole game in a really nice aesthetic. And this island is just amazing. Amazing. And that just says a lot. Like, I'm playing this game in black and white. You know what I mean? Like, you should take your time, just play black and white for an hour, and you're just like, oh, wow. Sometimes these black and whites just throws me into films, and I'm just like, oh, dude, that's some old stuff. And the thing about films is that, we gotta respect films, because that just shows that we're supposed to respect our past. You know what I mean? Like, our past just shows what we are right now in modern times. Like, games like Red Dead Redemption, that's a really good example of, like, how way back times were like that, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't killing or, like, outlaws and all this. Back then there was a little bit of killing way back in like cowboy times, you know. But that was like Billy the Kid or like some really big guys out there. And that's the thing, you know. This game is just all about history, you know. Meaning why is because you're fighting in a Mongol invasion. And in a Mongol invasion, like, yo, these freaking Mongols are goddamn freaking terrifying throughout this whole game. It doesn't feel like boring, like, oh, it's the same old like little thing here, little thing there, you know. Every single death that I've seen that the Mongols did to like the civilians and the poor peasants, it's all different. Like it don't feel the same. It just feels like it's just messy, and it gives it a really nice, realistic vibe that, you know, not too many games has. And the cool thing about this game is, you know, the climbing. But you know, some people are like, oh, the climbing feels repetitive, like games like Assassin's Creed, or you know, like God of War, or, you know, climbing this and that. But the climbing in this game has a little bit difference. Like they made the climbing really different, so you have to use your left thumbstick. And using your left thumbstick, you can literally, you know, you can move up to a specific location, which it doesn't feel repetitive. It feels new. It feels improved. It feels like it doesn't feel like the same. But what this game basically has is that there are certain parts in the game, like going, squeezing through, they grab certain parts of the games, but they put it even better. Like they made this open world so much better than I've anticipated. And at this point, you know, like I literally look at the cherry trees. Like the cherry trees literally were pretty damn pearlish white. And I was playing black and white. I was like, ooh, you know, it's just so goddamn nice. And I saw literally that whole cherry grove all the way down there, and I was like, oh, I want to get over there as immediately as possible because I really want to find out what is going on. You know, I'm literally following this objective, and this objective feels nice and smooth and long. It doesn't feel really boring, and this game is a good example of a attention grabber. Like it grabs my attention when I'm trying to go to new locations. I'm just like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus, I want to know what's gonna be over there. Oh, I know for a fact the story's not gonna be so damn freaking boring. I know it's gonna be so different. You know what I mean? And man, dude, the detail they put in this game is just amazing. Like, look at the bonsai tree in the horizon right there. Like, there's smoke, and then there's this missionary where I was supposed to go. You know, like, look at this beautiful grove. Like, this path is so goddamn beautiful with this Torii gates, man. Those Torii gates are so nice. They added like physics. They added physics, which physics in gaming perspective is very, and when I mean very hard to do, it is very hard to do in gaming, because yeah, coding for physics, you'd have to have really good skills to add physics on Torii gates. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's really crazy. They have to have all these programs, and they work as a group, make it as realistic as possible. And I was chasing after these pigs because, you know, I'm the year of the pig, and you know, why not? But look at the beauty of this game. It literally steals my breath, man. There's just a lot of moments in this game, just my soul just gets like taken. Like, it just gets absorbed in this game. This is one of the best looking games I have ever seen. It's way out there. And the combat system is just really nice. You know. And the cool thing about this game is, like, there's the prisoner system, and you know, there's games out there where you're just so used to guns and you have to go and save that prisoner as fast as you can with a sword. And the sword has just so many goddamn epic techniques that you just unlock. And when you're doing these techniques, it just throws in a little oomph. It just got some style. It's got flair, and I love games that just get some flair. You know, it's just, it's nice. It's really nice and realistic. A lot of the games out there, they wouldn't make it like realistic as possible. They would, but you know, at certain moments, it's just your character would be covered in aura, or like your whole body would be like um epic flames or this and that. This game doesn't do any of that, which I love it for that. You know, it makes it really nice for simplicity. Look at the style of the blade, it's just amazing. And the enemies just don't feel boring. You know, there's just parts of the games where there are enemies that, you know, they're like the minions, which are like the boring enemies, and then there would be like these medium enemies where they would be leathered up and they would have light armor, which are like these guys. These guys are like medium enemies. And then there are those heavy duty enemies, which like there would be Mongols with like 2 swords, and they would have like Mongol hats, Mongol armor. Like they would have a Mongol hat and he's like an archer. And sometimes, like, man, dude, those guys are like the high tier freaking Mongols. Like, there are different type of Mongols. There's a variety, and that's what I love about this game. It keeps it really, really interesting. And they would have like the Mongol bosses, and God, man, it's just so amazing. Like this whole house, you know, they took time and effort to literally build every single corner of this home. You know, like think about how long it would have took for someone to build something like this. You know, I appreciate it. I appreciate every single aspect. They keep it like, you know, like, yo, like I don't see anything that is out of place. Everything looks like it would legitimately be in medieval Japan. Like you would see black and white pictures way back in medieval Japan, and they would have black and white pictures of samurai villages and things like that. There's still things that are still lying around in Japan because they're still trying to keep the culture. And I'm just literally walking and look at how the leaves flow. It's just, wow. If there was a person that literally jumped into this game and never played like other open world games, I guarantee for a fact this person would fall in love with this game, and this person would be talking non-stop about this game. I played all sorts of open world games, but this one just slams. Like, it's just, I don't know any game that will top this. Like, it's just so good. You know, it's on the same level of God of War. God of War just did everything, like, wow. I just love God of War. Like the new God of War, the one with the kid, that one is just really nice. I love the whole story. I love everything about it. And they're pretty around like the similar status. But it's just, this game has much more beauty in it. And the beauty in this game is just, yo, it just shines bright in my eyes. And it should for everybody too. You know, like I haven't ran into any glitches, any problems throughout the game. It is absolutely praised. Like, it's really nice. It's like a gem that it's already been appraised, but if it gets more appraised, it would just be oh man, amazing. And at this moment, I was like, oh crap, this is an element of surprise. I did not expect a bunch of enemies right in front of me. And there are just moments in this game where the enemies just take you by surprise. It keeps the challenge really, really interesting. And, like, if I wanted to fight, I can fight throughout this whole area. I can bring the enemies anywhere I want. I can bring the fight wherever I want in this whole area. And the enemies in this game are pretty damn smart. They're really smart enemies. Because, like, during, I believe, I'm almost there at the very end game, the enemies spot you a lot more faster, and when they would see a body, they would look at it, and they would blow their horn, and they would just grab their whole, like, a Mongol group, and they wouldn't stop searching. They would search you for a while, and sometimes you could just like mad hide, and you can literally get away with some pretty crazy ninja skills. And I'm just gonna show you how like really versatile and how open this game is. Like, I wanted to fight somewhere else because I felt like this whole area was just really too compact. I was like, okay. And it was pretty damn trippy because, I saw swords everywhere, and then I was like, oh, look, a dueling ring. Hell yeah. I wouldn't mind bringing this Mongols over here. And, it just gave me the little, like, the sign of, this is bad news, guys. I don't think we should fight him. It just gives a really nice, nostalgic feeling. And, having the Mongols as an enemy in this game is literally the perfect idea. And at this moment, I didn't know wind stance was effective. I was like, oh, shoot, effective on spears? I'm gonna use it. And the cool thing about this game is just, like, you can use, like, all your sorts of moves. It gives you a whole plethora. And man, oh man, I love the smoke bombs. And there are these big old bosses, like these guys, or like the big old spears or axes. Like, they're really fun. They're really fun fights, It's really nice. It just takes a little bit of time to, practice, but, I just feel like the rolling in this game kind of feels really repetitive. I just wish the rolling felt different in specific moments. Like, I wish there would be a roll where he does it differently, or he does like a slide. Something that would be really cool, I hope they do something really good and update. Like, I'm over here trying to examine and try to figure out what is going around. And I'm investigating. I'm basically trying to figure out what the heck happened here. Like, I find this really badass. You're literally in this circle full of swords on a dude who you have no clue. And I was like, oh snap. I'm like, oh man, not this guy. I'm supposed to fight this goddamn freaking beast. I heard the stories off of this guy. I don't want to fight him. This guy sounds really dangerous. And the way they speak, man, all in Japanese, just, man, it just absorbs you. A lot of people just get sick and tired of, like, the whole Japanese culture and this and that. But, they don't see the whole beauty of it. And this fight is so badass. Look at this. It's like a freaking standoff. with swords. And this move right here, it's his signature move. You know, I never get like tired of that. You know, it's a sign of how he starts his battle. I don't find it repetitive at all. And, you know, it's cool because the boss here just feels really different. And the fight here is just really cool. I like it. And, you know, it just gives it like a little type of thing right there. Like in the movies where they're literally had two swords clash right there, which is really cool. And me and this guy, we're just really covered in blood, and that is really cool. And the stances are just really nice. Throughout this fight, he just said that he was really fast, which he was, you know, it was really cool. The way how this whole like arena just literally threw me in here is just awesome. And you just learn new moves. And this guy got struck by lightning, and I literally did not see that coming. You know, that was a fight that just blew me away. I was like, yo, this is what I'm freaking talking about. And this is like how every single mystic or certain type of objectives in the game is. You do these really interesting fights. There was this fight where there was this guy, he was a samurai, but he was a fake samurai. And I guess the fake samurai just like literally gave up at the very first second of the fight, like, I don't want to die. Which was pretty nice. You know, like, it just gives every single, you know, moment pretty interesting. And I can't wait till I play this in full color. You know, it takes a lot of skill to literally put this in Kurosawa mode. You know, they have to figure out the lighting, and they have to, you know, get things right. They have to make sure these objectives would follow, you know. But man, oh man, it's really, really nice. And it's just the views of this game just, it gets me really, really amazed. And there's this specific fight right here which was pure beautiful, and it just gave me a really good vibe. Like, I don't know, this fight was just really cool. And, you know, I'll see you all later, and you all take care.